AEG, or in America RIGID, is what I believe these tools are called. This is about the little collet retainer. I've already done this on this particular impact driver. It's 18 volt, doesn't matter what amp hour battery you're running, but the bits just kept popping out all the time. They weren't holding in there, and I think it was because one of the ball bearings was actually missing. So what I've done is, because when I put it all back together, this collet technically needed replacing. So this is just an example that's not actually the collet, but it's for the purposes of this video. So the collet doesn't hold the ball bearings into place well enough, so it keeps popping out. So instead of buying a new collet setup, what I've done, and I've got these bits here just to illustrate, once I'd pulled the retaining clip off the end, it then lets the collet come off, and then the next thing after the collet is the washer that holds the spring into place, and then the spring slides down over the top of the two ball bearings. There's other videos on YouTube that show this, but in particular, my temporary fix for this, or it could be permanent because this is just a spare impact driver anyway, is the ball bearings have gone into place. Instead of putting the spring in next, I've actually swapped the spring and the retaining washer for the spring around, and what that does is the retaining washer pushes up against the ball bearings down in the collet section of this drill, the impact driver. Then I'll put the spring on. These are not the actual parts, these are representing the original parts of the drill, so it's just for representation. So this is not a real collet, it's just a piece of tubing. But for the purposes of this video, that would have been the collet that would have gone over the top of the spring, and then you put the retaining clip on the end. What this does is it forces the ball bearings to be jammed in place. So it doesn't matter how much you lift and remove this collet now, it will not eject the piece. That's why I don't have the bit in there anymore, because when you're putting this all together, once the ball bearings are in place and you slide the washer down in the wrong order to hold the ball bearings in place, before you slide the washer down, I've put this magnetic bit in, slide the magnetic bit in, slide the washer down to hold the ball bearings in, so now it's locked in place. And then obviously you do the spring, do the collet, and then the retainer. So now this particular impact driver, I can put any bit in the end, and that's my method of replacing bits now, is into the magnetic part. So technically, as long as this magnetic part doesn't break, I don't need to worry about the ejection process not working on the actual collet itself. So just to go over that again, that's normally the order it would be in. Be the spring, well, the ball bearings in, then the spring, then the washer on top of the spring, then the collet, and then the retainer clip on top. But for this particular process, swap those two around, so that the washer is now underneath the spring, and that locks ball bearings into place so they can't be released anymore. It's a handy little hack. Hopefully you find that helpful on the job site. Make sure to use a magnetic bit